Hello and welcome to FXcast. This is our FXcast market analysis for Tuesday, April 12th. In this video, we're going to go over today's price action. We're going to look at the daily trend of our currency pairs. We'll identify key price levels for support and resistance. We're going to create a low volatility watch list, an inside bar watch list, and we will review the economic calendar so we can be prepared for tomorrow's action. With that, let's begin. Let's begin with the Euro Aussie, and we can see on our daily chart here that first we have this blast right through the 200, and we came right back through it. So it does not appear initially that the 200 is being respected by the price action. However, we did have a little honoring of the 200 here, and you can see obviously the action stayed closed at the 200. But where this also closed is at the swing high here put in here. So that makes me feel a little bit good about putting in an alert to see if we can break the 200 moving average, if we can get above the swing high. You can see some wicks in here. So I probably would go ahead and put in that alert around 1870. Somewhere around there, see if we clearly above the 200, see if we could make a run to this past swing high. However, it's important to note that when you look at this overall, even though we're in an uptrend, we do see some choppiness in this price range. So we either need to break higher and go test this swing high, or we're going to fall back down into all of this choppiness. Next, we're going to look at the Euro franc. And what we're seeing here is some more of that choppiness action, This one did respect the 200 moving average. And those of you who are watching the videos earlier this week, we talked about putting an alert at the low of these wicks for a push down to the 20, possibly the 50. And we got that follow through with today's action. So now, what are we looking at? Well, now we're really getting into that choppiness area. So I'm not really impressed with an alert on this one. You know, if you want to, sure, you can put an alert at the low today. Gets us below the 50 moving average. Maybe we'll come down and test the swing lows here. However, again, we're entering value. We're entering that choppiness where buyers and sellers begin to agree on the price, and we're in this choppiness. So I would prefer to find a breakout. We got the break into value. Now I'd rather wait and see if we can break out of that value price range. Next, we have the Euro Pound. What a lovely uptrend. What a lovely uptrend. And our trade on this one earlier this week was, breaking the highs, which we received. We can see on the hourly that we're pulling off the band. So if you're watching this, you might want to consider for an uptrend on the daily, uptrend on the hourly. It'd be interesting to see what happens when price gets all the way back down here to the 20 moving average on the 1 hour chart. However, purely looking at the daily chart, we would also have to agree that we need to find a safe entry on a pullback. We got the pullback here, and now we need another pullback to find a safe entry. The Euro Yen. Of course, overnight, the Japanese ministry came out and raised the nuclear level of their reactor disaster to 7 to equal Chernobyl. 7 actually is the highest it can be. So that was one of the things associated with some of the markets being down. And we can see a beautiful uptrend. However, unlike the Euro Pound, oops, let's do it this way, which made a new high after coming up here, the yen is pulling back a little bit. So for me, I want to see how far this is going to go lower. And we technically may have a trade here, just missed a trade off the 20 to the push lower. And now we're looking at the wicks. I mean, the wicks are pretty low on this one. So I think that it's safe to say that if we do break below 119 or 120, that we may come down and test the 20 moving average. That's the safe trade for me. I'm not interested in playing any of this area of the wick, and I'm not ready to go long either. I'd rather wait for a pullback to a moving average for a safe entry. Our final euro pair is the euro dollar, and we have a rising three pattern here on the daily. Um, which early in the week we talked about the rising three here, and we got that. So now we have another one, and we're getting more and more air between our 20 moving average and our price action. Um, we did wick above here. Uh, that would be real aggressive to take that trade at this point. I will feel a little bit more comfortable if we wait for some type of pullback closer to the 20 moving average. Certainly, is it okay to put an alert at the high of today's action? Sure. But on the hourly, we already had the pullback to the 20 and push higher. Notice on the hourly, we were unable to retest that high. So it looks like, we're pulling off the bands, and we may need to resonate a little bit before we push higher. So I'm not ready to take that move above the high of today's action. Okay, now we are going to switch over to the dollar pairs, and we're looking at the dollar Canadian. We can see, obviously, we're in a downtrend here, and we can see that we're certainly pushing hard off the last test of the 50 moving average. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. About 10 days down, a couple green bars in there, but certainly a big push down. So at this point, it's obviously oversold, and the safe play is going to be waiting for a short on a pullback to the 20 moving average, possibly even the 50 moving average. Now, what's going to be interesting here is you can kind of see that our action today brought us back to where we paused before. Do we have an aggressive against the trend long here for a run to the 20 moving average? Possibly. Possibly. Um, we can see that the wick almost air kissed the 20 moving average. I mean, I know there's some pips in there, but some people would count that as an air kiss. We certainly on the hourly can see where the bands tightened. So we certainly had a trade today. The bands tightened, opened up, and we got a push up. You could have gotten out there. If you stayed in, you got an even higher reward for your patience. I'm going to wait on this one. I don't see a safe long or short period of time. The best trade is with the trend multi-time frame agreement, and we don't have that right now. Next, we're going to look at the dollar franc. Also here, we can see that the 50 moving average pretty much is being respected. Even we had a little breakthrough, bigger breakthrough. Then the 20 was respected. Now we came back to the 50. Notice that with each of these, we made new lows. Tested, new low, tested, new low, tested, new low, tested. Are we going to make a new low? Right now, we're pausing where we were last week. This is aggressive. This is aggressive. Certainly, I think the better trade is letting it come over here on the hourly to the 20 moving average and catching the short there. As we look at it, the short worked, the short worked, the short worked, the short to 20 worked. So that's the safe entry. Of course, how many times can we get that in a row? You also might think that this is where the buyers came in on the last push down. Will they come back in also? So this is something that we're going to watch. You can certainly put an alert at the low of today, or even better at the low of this past swing low here. But this is one that I think you got to watch the price action and see if there's volume with this push down, or again, this is where the buyers came in once before. Are they coming in now to try to bring us back up to the 20 moving average? And our final dollar pair is the dollar yen. And on here, we can see on the daily, look at the consolidation. Then we have the earthquake reaction. Now we're breaking high. So we have consolidation, and we broke out of that value area. We came back into value, and we broke to the upside. And now we're finding support possibly at the top of this consolidation, at the top of value. I would love to see this actually bounce here. But it's very possible that we're going to come right back into value. Of course, that's going to be some choppy mess. I don't want to really be a part of that. So for me, this is another one like the last pair where I want to watch and see if we do get a bounce and see what happens. Some professionals say halfway through this bar is our long. Let's take a measure of that. That's going to be around, right around here, 84.10, maybe 84 even, and see if we can catch a bounce back up to test this swing high. And now we're going to go ahead and take a look at our pound currency pairs. First up is the pound dollar. And the first thing we can see in this daily chart is the consolidation that we're in. The next thing we'll come down, and once we've got our 20 moving average crossing above the 50 and we went up bullish on this trend, it came to the 20, tested, made a new high. Came to the 20, tested, made a new high. Came to the 20, tested, made a new high. Now we broke, but we've kind of found support at the 50, made a new high. And now we broke even more, and now you can kind of see that we've got sort of a consolidation low, value area low here around 1.6, 1.59, and we pushed out and made a new high. Now the difference is, notice that each time our new highs are getting smaller and smaller. So there is an air of rolling over a little bit here. But regardless, we see consolidation. We're pulling back. Are we coming back down here? Maybe. If you're aggressive, you can certainly look at that trade below the 20 moving average. Um, I'm going to pass on this one for right now. The pound yen. Uh, sort of looks like the dollar yen, where we were in consolidation, the earthquake. Now we're above that, and we pull back to it. And again, we can see that where do we pull back to? Basically, right where our little swing high is. That's basically where we're at, or at least it looks like we're heading there. So I do think there is a trade down to the 20 moving average. There's about 40 or so pips there. If you wanted to be aggressive, you can put an alert below the low here and see if we can get a run to the 20 moving average at least, if not more. But that is aggressive. After this big down day, certainly we want to let the pair breathe. The pound franc, um, some more choppiness. Choppy here, choppy here. Um, came to the 50 and failed. But you kind of see it didn't really respect the 50, so I'm not really sure if I'm saying it's automatically short to 50 here. What we can see is that we're starting to have our swing low matching up with past swing lows. So we're seeing some support here at the 1.442520 range, however you want to draw it. Do you want to be aggressive? You can. I'm going to pass on this right now. I don't see the safe trade. We're going to finish off with the Aussie dollar. And nice uptrend here. Maybe pulling back to the 20 moving average. You could be aggressive, somewhat aggressive, and put an alert at the wick to come down into the 20 moving average. That is a little aggressive if you really believe. The reason I say it's somewhat aggressive is because look at this wick. I mean, it really has taken back some of that move. So, this was another one that I probably just pass on right now. We can see the past resistance was all the way down here. I don't know if we can come all the way down there. I'm going to let this one show me what it wants to do before I put out a trade on this one. We went a little long on the analysis today, so we're not going to have time to pull up our economic calendar. However, we do want to share with you our low volatility and inside bar watch list. As far as our low volatility watch list, no stocks currently, according to the 1 hour chart, are pulling up as in a low volatility status. On the inside bar, we have several: the Aussie franc, the pound Canadian, the pound dollar, and the New Zealand yen are our inside bar watch list to watch to see if we can get a break. Again, we're looking for a break of the high or low as an indicator of a possible move. Thanks, guys, and I'll see you next time.